Hey guys, I want to show you completing the square with letters, which is essentially deriving the quadratic formula. I'm going to give you guys a mnemonic to remember it as well, but we're going to work through it first. The first thing we got to do is create space, or create room. We got to get rid of c here, so we subtract c on both sides. So now we're left with ax squared plus bx equals negative c. Second step is we got to get rid of a. We got to divide by a. So I'm going to divide by a here, by a here, and by a here. So now I have x squared plus b over a times x equals negative c over a. Third step is to take half of b, so whatever this is. So we take half of that and square it. So I'm going to add half of this, so it's b over 2a, because that's 1/2 of b over a. Square it. Whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other side. And now we have our fourth step, which is a perfect square on this side, which is x plus b over 2a quantity squared. On this side, we're just going to simplify. This is going to be b squared over 4a squared. This is going to be negative c over a. What I'm going to do is common denominate, so multiply this and this, both top and bottom, by 4a. So I end up with minus 4ac over 4a squared. Now these are common denominators. So now I have b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. I just switched the order of these. If you don't see this, watch it again until it makes some sense. Just that step. So here we have x plus b over 2a quantity squared. Hold on, I'm going to get a wipe. So now our fifth step is to square root both sides. So we square root both sides. And on this side, we're just left with, I'm going to bring it all the way up here, x plus b over 2a on this side. And on this side, we have the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Because we can't square root the top because it's an add-in, the bottom we can because it's just 4a squared. And we have to have a plus minus. This is our sixth step here. We got a plus minus there. Now we subtract b over 2a on both sides. So I subtract b over 2a on both sides. So now I get negative b over 2a plus or minus. So I'm sorry, so this all cancels out. So on the left side we have just x. And on the right side, I'll rewrite what I was just going to write there. Negative b over 2a, because we subtracted b over 2a on both sides, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We have a common denominator here, so we can join those things. So we get x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And what I came up with, it's not the best mnemonic, it's not as good as the negative boy, but it's something that might help. It's called c d 1/2 b, perfect square, square root, plus minus. One more time, c d 1/2 b, perfect square, square root, plus minus. What that stands for is c, create room by getting c out of the way, then d, divide by a, then take 1/2 of b, then turn the left side into a perfect square, then square root both sides, make sure to add a plus minus, and then your two s's at the end are to subtract this on both sides. You might have to add two depending on the problem you're doing, and then your last s is solve. But this is how to derive it. This exact thing is going to be on your test Tuesday, so be ready. Hope that helped.